Good evening to one and all. Welcome you all to the daily current affairs session brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy for the date 21st July 2023 for the news which came in Indian Express newspaper. Okay, let's get straight into the today's discussion. At least 16 dead, over 100 feared trap as landslides buried in Maharashtra village. As we all know, the monsoon has gathered in several northern part of the country. As a result of the monsoon rainfall and the resultant landslide has caused severe catastrophe in the village of Maharashtra. So it led to death of 16 people and nearly 100 people have been trapped under the landslides. So we will discuss about the content of the news. A massive landslide took place at Irshalwadi. Irshalwadi is a village in Kalapur Tehsil of Maharashtra. The village is located near Irshalgarh Fort, which is popular for trekking spot. This is what the news is related to. The incident happened at Irshalwadi village of Maharashtra. So what does this landslide mean? They are relatively rapid movement of rock debris or the rock itself. The material involved in the slide will be relatively dry when compared to the corresponding other materials that is present in the region. The size and shape of the detached mass will depend upon the discontinuity of the rock or weathering of the rock and also the steepness of the slope. Depending on these three conditions only, the mass of the weight of the particular rock which is detached from the region will depend. Depending in types of movement of materials, depending on the types of movement, several types of landslide are identified. They are: first is slump. Slump is slipping of one or several unit of rock debris in the backward rotation. That is, whenever the rock debris, for example, this is the slide means if the rock debris is sliding at backward like this, means it is called slump. And if a particular rock debris is not flipping in the flipping in the backward rotation but falling in the straight steep downwards, such kind of slides are called as debris slides. Then whenever the particular debris suddenly forms drastically from top to bottom, then such kind of falls are called as debris fall. Similarly, for the rocks also, whenever a particular rock slide past over the slope of the region is called as rock slide, and whenever the rock falls freely from the top to the bottom is called as rock fall. Based upon the types of movement of material, the landslide are classified into these subcategories as I have mentioned. This is what the details of the landslide is about. Since the landslides kind of activity are considered as disaster in India, we should also know about the National Disaster Management Authority of India. What does it mean? The National Disaster Management Authority is headed by Prime Minister of India. It is the apex body for disaster management in India. NDMA is mandated to lay down policies, plans and guidelines for disaster management as the whole. And it is created under Disaster Management Act 2005. Under the same act, each corresponding state will also have its own state disaster management authority. So we also should know about what are all the powers, functions and source of funding for those state disaster management authority என்னன்றதையும் நம்ம பார்த்து வச்சுக்கணும். Then apart from it, we also should know about the weathering, and also we should know about the erosion as well as the landforms, and also we should know about the mass movements apart from the landslides, and also we should know about the difference between weathering and landslide. What are all the factors that causes weathering? These are all the things which we needed to know apart from the details as well as the content of the news, so that we could able to have some holistic view about the news. And also, since one minute, some technical glitches. Since the incident has took place in Irishalwadi village, a tribal village, it is located near Ishalgarh Fort. We should know about this fort also. So what does this fort is famous for? As I have mentioned, it is famous for trekking. And what are all the other mineral resources? Who are all the tribes, and what kind of soils, and what kind of vegetation, what kind of climatic condition that this area supports? இது இல்லன்றதையும் தெரிஞ்சு வச்சிருக்கிறது நல்லது. So that we could have we could not so that there is no chance of missing any minute part. India bans export of non-basmati white rice. So this is what the news is. From the heading itself, we could able to know that India has banned the non-basmati white rice. The reason for banning is, as we all know, after post-pandemic and also after post-pandemic and after stopping the welfare policy of the government, that is providing free ration for the people affected for the peoples affected in pandemic through PDS system, there was sudden plunge or decline in the central godown of FCI, and also there is as we all know, the current inflation rate in respect to cereal is also high. Thirdly, because of the erratic monsoon and uneven distribution of rainfall, there is some agitation or kind of and uneven rainfall, because of the reason of uneven rainfall, the sowing of the paddy crops is also reduced, as a result of which the government is expecting that the output of the paddy crops will also be reduced. So considering the future situation, they have now banned the export of non-basmati white rice, so that it could be useful for the domestic consumption. These are all the three reasons under which the government of India has banned the export of non-basmati white rice. India, as we all know, India's rice export are broadly classified into two types. One is basmati rice, second is non-basmati rice. This basmati rice itself will contain 6 subcategories. First is rice in husk of seed quality, other rice in husk, third is husked brown rice, fourth is rice parboiled, fifth is non-basmati white rice. This is only they are banning. And sixth is broken rice. Apart from the fifth part, other three is free to get exported. And India accounts for nearly 40% of the rice export at international level. So if India is withdrawing or banning the export of the rice, means then those countries which are dependent on the India's export will be surely affected. Not only the countries, but the global rice market itself will get affected because of the absence of major player like India in the export market. The top buyers of India's non-basmati white rice are Benin, Madagascar, Kenya, Cote d'Ivoire, Mozambique, Vietnam, Angola, Togo and Nepal. As from this we could able to see that all the small or below small island states, as well as the country which is right now in developing stage and the country which is very poor, are only dependent on the export of the India's non-basmati white rice. So this country will be surely affected by the decision to ban the non-basmati white rice. So since the news revolves around rice, we should know about the rice. What does the rice is about? It is the staple food crop for millions of people in India. Our country is the second largest producer of rice in the world after China. It is a kharif crop which requires a high temperature, that is about 25 degrees Celsius. Fourth is the high humidity with annual rainfall above 100 centimeter is required for healthy growing of rice crops. The rice is grown in the plains of north as well as northeastern India and coastal areas as well as deltaic region. The rice can be grown in less rainfall area with the help of the proper irrigation system, which is needed to supply the water which is required for the rice production. And among the state which produces the more quantity of rice are West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. These three are the top 3 states that produces highest quantity of rice in India. So what is basmati rice is about? It is the long grain. The grain will be open neat இருக்கும். நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா நம்ம நிறைய பேர் பார்த்திருப்போம், மாதிரி ஒரு நீட்டா இருக்கும். நார்மல் ரைஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நார்மலா குண்டா அப்படி இருக்கும். It will be like very long, which has its origin in India as well as in some part of Pakistan. Basmati rice has the unique fragrance and flavor caused due to presence of chemical called 2-acetyl-1-pyrrolene, mostly cultivated in the soil which is required or very favorable for the basmati rice cultivation is alluvial as well as tarai soil, and the climate requirement is 20 to 35 degrees Celsius. Below 20 or above 35 degrees Celsius means then the condition will not be favorable for the production of basmati rice. And we should also know about the non-basmati rice which India is right now banning to export. The non-basmati rice comes in all different shapes. It can be either long, short, fat, thin, so on and so forth, or broken. But in the case of basmati rice, it will be available. It will be only as long grains, not short, small, thin, thick, so on. It does not have the aroma as the basmati rice have, and the yield is that. But the non-basmati rice yield will be twice than that of the basmati rice. That is the reason why the basmati rice cost is very high in the market when compared to the non-basmati rice. So this is what the details of basmati as well as non-basmati rice is about, and this is what the difference is between them also. So when if the UPSC is asking question related to basmati rice, its soil condition or weather pattern, weather அதாவது ஒரு என்ன சாயில், என்ன சூழல், என்ன ஒரு கிளைமேட் தேவைப்படும் ஒரு பாஸ்மதி ரைஸ்க்கு ஒரு நான் பாஸ்மதி ரைஸ்க்கு அப்படின்றதுக்கு இந்த டீடைல்ஸ் போதுமானது. and the difference between the basmati and the non-basmati rice. These details are enough, so that through this detail we could able to answer the prelims question if there is anything related to basmati or non-basmati rice. What we needed to study further is, since we have studied about rice, which is a kharif crop, we also should know about what are all the other major kharif crops are produced in India, as well as the rabi crops, especially wheat. So whenever I am saying you to know about particular crop, means we should know about not only the name of the crop but also the soil condition which is required, the climate or weather, climate as well as weather pattern that is required for its production, and if there is any kind of cultivation, what kind of cultivation, எந்த மாதிரியான கல்டிவேஷன் பேடிக்கு வந்து தற்சமயத்தில் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், இன் கேஸ் ஆஃப் நார்த் ஈஸ்டர்ன் இந்தியா they using jum cultivation. Similarly, for different part of the country, those who are producing particular crop will be using different types of cultivation according which will be based on their culture or their traditional practice, so on and so forth. And if there is any kind of tribal elements are present in the region in which the particular crop is cultivated, and the tribal pathina therinju vechikano, and their major economic activity. As we all know, most of the crops will be grown on the plain region, which is suitable for the production. So plain region nale there will be river will be present around them, river or lake, something will be present around them, so that because of which only the region will become plain, which we would have studied in the geography. So these are all the things which we should know whenever we are looking into kharif as well as rabi crops. And as we have seen the India's status in terms of production of rice, we should also know about India's status in terms of production of milk, fruits as well as vegetables. And also we should know about the minimum support price, procurement price of government of India, and how they are arriving at the minimum support price as well as procurement price. Who are all the bodies involved in arriving at the corresponding prices, and what are all the criteria that particular body follows to arrive at the corresponding prices. Fourth is, we should know about the parboiled rice, which was in news last year because of the dispute between Telangana as well as central government. So we should also know about them also. What is parboiled rice, in which area is highly suitable for the cultivation of the parboiled rice, and what is the difference between the parboiled rice as well as normal rice. அது என்னன்றது நம்ம தெரிஞ்சு வச்சிருக்கிறது நல்லது. Health warning. Recently, in Safdarjung Hospital of New Delhi, a neurosurgeon is involved in a great scam. What is that scam is? He is not informing the people, those who are coming from the below poverty line, or those who are at the marginal section of the society, about their benefits under the Ayushman Bharat scheme. As a result of which, they are they are required to pay the hefty amount from their packet, but which they should not do, because such kind of people, those who are below poverty line or those who are at the marginal section of the society, are eligible for the beneficiary under benefits under the Ayushman Bharat scheme, which the government of India provides to reduce the out-of-pocket expenditure, in particularly in terms in health, because the out-of-pocket expenditure in India is very high when it comes to medical treatment. As a result of which, the people, those who are present in the marginal as well as the below poverty line, are getting up getting affected because of the out of pocket expenditure, and they are made to get depressed more downwards in terms of poverty. So what the article has mentioned is the system should become more patient friendly, and it should empathize with the needs as well as emotions of the people. So that what they have given a suggestion is there should be a professional advisor need to be present at every hospital, who gives a kind of counseling to the people, those who are coming to the hospital, about their benefits under different types of schemes under state as well as central government. This is what the suggestion is being given by the author of the particular editorial which came today. So since the news revolves around the scam of neurosurgeon in relation to the Ayushman Bharat, so we should know about what does the Ayushman Bharat scheme is about. The Ayushman Bharat is an attempt to move from the selective approach to the healthcare to comprehensive range of services, to provide a comprehensive ranges of services spanning preventive, promotive, curative, rehabilitative and palliative care. And it has two components. First is 1,50,000 health and wellness center will be created to deliver comprehensive primary healthcare system in India. Second component is under Ayushman Bharat, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, which is a kind of insurance scheme provided for the people, those who are poor as well as vulnerable, amount of 5 lakh per year. And the target of the scheme's coverage is 10 crore poor and vulnerable families, not individuals, for seeking secondary as well as tertiary care, not primary care, because the need for the primary care is taken care in the first subpart. So health and wellness center are envisaged to deliver expanded range service that goes beyond maternal and child healthcare service, to include care for non-communicable diseases, palliative as well as rehabilitative care, oral, eye and ENT care, mental health and first level of care for emergency trauma, including free and essential drugs and diagnosis center. That is, they wanted to provide a comprehensive kind of medical treatment at these stages of primary healthcare itself. Initially, it was more of what maternal as well as the child care only. The duty, the function, the role of the primary healthcare system is limited to maternal as well as child healthcare system only. But under this program, they wanted to expand the scope of primary healthcare to include these other functions, so that the primary healthcare will function as comprehensive system rather than the discrete or piecemeal approach system. So under the Ayushman Bharat, the second component is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. As I have said, it is a kind of insurance scheme. So what does adhoda details என்னன்றதை நம்ம இப்ப பார்ப்போம். Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana is the world's largest health insurance scheme, because the people, those who are covered under the scheme is very high, and ஒரு வளர்ந்த நாட்டோட பாப்புலேஷன் காட்டிலும் the peoples covered under the scheme வந்துட்டு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா ரொம்ப அதிகம். And it will be fully financed by government. A sum of rupees 5 lakh per family for secondary care as well as tertiary care. Under Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, a cashless and paperless access to services are provided to beneficiaries at hospital. Point of service means it is hospital. using the digital technologies, the insurance, the accessing to the insurance will be made as cashless as well as paperless in the hospital itself. The health benefit packages cover surgery, medical and daycare treatment cost as well as the cost of medicine and diagnostics. Beneficiaries are identified based on socio-economic caste census data 2011. The funding of the scheme is shared between 60 to 40 for all state and union territories with legislature. And in case of northeastern states and Jammu Kashmir, Himachal as well as Uttarakhand, it is 90:10. The fund will be divided between the center and the state is 90:10. And in case of union territories without legislature, it is 100% centrally funded. The National Health Authority, an autonomous entity under the Society Registration Act for effective implementation of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana in alliance with the state government. It is an autonomous entity, it is apex implementing authority at the central level. In the case of state level, it is state health agency, which is the apex body of the particular corresponding state government, which is responsible for implementing the scheme at the state level. So what we needed to study further is, we should know about the National Health Mission, and also we should know about E-Sanjeevani scheme and immunization program of Government of India, and also we should know about Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Yojana. So these are all the things which we needed to study further so that we could able to have some holistic understanding about the news itself. Japan signs chip pact with India. India and Japan signed pact to develop semiconductor ecosystem. The pact also aims to maintain resilience in supply chain of the semiconductor ecosystem, which is disturbed because of the COVID as well as the monopoly of the Chinese system. So in order to overcome this, India and Japan has made a pact so that they wanted to develop the semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem in the country, which diversify or subvert the monopolization of the China, so that the supply chain will be made resilient. So what is the semiconductor market of India? India currently imports nearly all the chips, and the market is expected to touch 100 billion by 2025. Why the market is going to expand is because of the technological revolution that is happening across the world, particularly in India, and India is also transforming itself into cashless and digital society. So if it is digital and smart, and the smart technology is going to be in use for our daily lives as well as our professional life means, then there is a requirement for the semiconductor chips, because those digital technologies as well as these smart devices will be made of this kind of semiconductor chips only. India launched a scheme for promotion of manufacturing of electronic components for semiconductor for manufacturing components and semiconductor. It is called as SPECS scheme. And also India launched a production linked incentive scheme to promote manufacturing of semiconductor as well as display in the country. Design linked scheme was launched to nurture 20 domestic companies involved in semiconductor design and facilitate them to achieve a turnover of 1,500 crores in the next 5 years. Initiatives on critical and emerging technology is an intergovernmental initiative between US and India to elevate and expand the strategic technological cooperation and defense industrial cooperation between business, academics as well as governments. And also, India Semiconductor Mission is a specialized and independent business division within the Digital India Corporation that aims to build a vibrant semiconductor as well as display ecosystem manufacturing in the country. So these are all the efforts made by Government of India at domestic level to promote the semiconductor as well as display manufacturing ecosystem in the country. So we should know about what are the other things we should know is, since the semiconductor is made up of silicon, the important component for manufacturing of chips, we have to know about which region has the highest resource of silicon. And also we should know about the electric vehicle policy of Government of India. Because of the transition of our economy from fossil to non-fossil fuel like electric vehicle, there is the need for production of semiconductor. Why? Because the electric vehicle will be made of this kind of chips only. And also we should know about the Digital India Mission. As I have said, right now India wanted to transform itself into the digital society. This digital society will have a new will have in its usage day to day will have in its usage the more sophisticated technologies which will be made up of this kind of chips only, semiconductor chips only. And also we should know about the lithium ion battery and which country has the highest source of lithium in it. அது என்னன்றதையும் அந்த ஜியோகிராஃபி என்னன்றதையும் நம்ம பார்த்து தெரிஞ்சு வச்சிருக்கிறது நல்லது. ஓகே, to meet threat from China, working on long range artillery with India, says US. As we all know, the Indo-Pacific policy of US is based upon strengthening its partners, those who are present in the Indo-Pacific region, especially India, Japan, Australia, like those countries, because US is having interest in Indo-Pacific region. அது ஏன்றதை நம்ம அப்கமிங் ஸ்லைட்ல பார்ப்போம். Because of the threat posed by China in the Indo-Pacific region, US wanted to counter the China through the regional partners, those who are present in the Indo-Pacific region like India, Japan and Australia and other Southeast Asian countries. So in order to strengthen India's military might, US is going to work with India to produce a long range artillery as well as infantry vehicles. So this is what the news is about. So what is this extended range artillery? It is the self-propelled howitzer. It will have some range over 70 kilometer or more, and it has the potential to strike inside the hostile territory. So what is this Indo-Pacific region is? Why it is so given so much importance across the world? Why is because the Indo-Pacific region is one of the most populous as well as economically active region in the world, which includes 4 continents: Asia, Africa, Australia as well as America. The dynamics and vitality of the region is self-evident because 60% of the world population and 2/3 of the global economic output makes this region a global economic center. This is what the nearly 2/3 of the economic output is produced in this region only. So the region also has the great source and destination for foreign direct investment. Many of the world's critical as well as large supply chain have been concentrated in Indo-Pacific region only. The supply chain as well as the source for FDI and the global economic output and the mineral resources. There are vast resources of marine resource in the Indo-Pacific region. Not only marine resource, it could also able to produce offshore hydrocarbons, methane hydrate, seabed minerals and rare earth metals which are needed for production of the new kinds of technologies which the government of the entire world is moving towards. They wanted to move their corresponding government to the technology based government, so that if the government wanted to become a technology based government means they needed to have access to technology. That technology will be produced based on the access to the seabed minerals as well as rare earth metals. So that is the reason why most of the countries are giving so much importance to the Indo-Pacific region, especially US. And as we all know, the China is doing some mischievous thing in the South China Sea as well as East China Sea by capturing the islands and disputing with other country island and creating some border tussle with their neighboring countries, so that they wanted to have hold over the Indo-Pacific region. So this is the power tussle that is going on in the Indo-Pacific region because of the richness of the Indo-Pacific region, which we have seen in the previous slide as well as in the present slide. What we needed to study further is we have to know about South China Sea as well as East China Sea's map, entire map, and what are all the countries borders are present in South China as well as East China Sea, what are all the important islands that is present in the South China as well as East China Sea. இதுதான் நம்ம ஒரு வாட்டி போயிட்டு ரெஃபர் பண்ணி அட்லஸ் மேப் ஆர் ஆக்ஸ்போர்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட் அட்லஸ் மேப்ல எடுத்து பார்த்து வச்சுக்கணும். செகண்ட் இஸ் அபவுட் லடாக், இட்ஸ் ஜியோகிராஃபி, கிளைமேட், சாயில் and vegetation என்னன்றதையும் பார்த்து வச்சுக்கணும். Because China is producing some mischievous things with the border countries. It is confronting with those border nations by creating dispute in the border region. So since Ladakh borders with not only Ladakh but also northeastern states, particularly Arunachal, borders with China is confronting with this region, confronting China வந்து இந்த ஏரியாலலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பார்டர் டிஸ்பியூட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு இந்தியா கூட. ஸோ அந்த ரீஜனை பற்றின மேப்னா எவ்ரிதிங், சாயில், வெஜிடேஷன், பீப்புள், கிளைமேட், வைல்ட் லைஃப், ஃப்ளோரா அண்ட் ஃபோனா என்னன்றதை நம்ம பார்த்து வச்சிருக்கிறது நல்லது. And also recent India-US technological cooperation, அது என்னன்றதையும் we have discussed in the previous current affairs sessions. Please go through it and have a look at it so that you will have the greater idea about the India-US relationship itself. So let's get into UPSC previous year prelims questions which was asked in relation to the news which we have discussed now. First question is, which one of the following statement best reflects the issues with Senkaku Island sometimes mentioned in the news? The Senkaku Island is the island present in the East China Sea. It is the island which is in news because of the dispute between China and Japan. So the answer is option B. Second question, which one of the following policies were affecting the price of rice in India in the recent past? Minimum support price, second is government trading, third is government stockpiling, fourth is consumer subsidies. Select the correct answer using the code below. See, minimum support price, government tradings. Government trading means open market, example open market operation. Third is government stockpiling and consumer subsidies. Here all the factors will have some influence in the price of the particular product. In this case it is rice means yes, all these factors will be affecting the price in India. So answer is option D. Option 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So UPSC mains question. The new Tri-Nation Partnership AUKUS is aimed at countering China's ambition in the Indo-Pacific region. Is it going to supersede the existing partnership in the region? Discuss the strength and impact of AUKUS in the present scenario. I want those students, those who are watching the current affairs session and online, please do comment the answer point for the question in the comment section, so that you could able to enrich ourselves with the different viewpoints, and we all could able to benefit from each other. So please do comment answer for the question which we are seeing right now on the board. So thank you students, please do subscribe, like, comment, share, and comment the Ganesh IAS YouTube channel, so that you could able to receive the daily notification about the daily current affairs session, so that you could able to receive daily notification regarding the daily current affairs session and also any other important sessions brought to you by Ganesh IAS Academy. Thank you.